Loki, the god of mischief, gets his own show on Disney+, but is it any good? After the smash hit that was WandaVision and the simmering hit that was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is Disney Plus's third outing giving a spin-off to one of the MCU characters worth entertaining? Is it worth your time? How's the plot? How's the writing? We're going to get into it. I want to thank Disney for advancing me the first couple episodes of Loki so that I could review them for you here. As I always like to do at Dead Metal, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and get into it. And Loki absolutely sucks. This show is the bottom of the barrel, dilapidated piece of trash, garbage juice, nothing but a burning fire representing the ashes of the once almighty MCU. I'm sitting back in my chair laughing as I sip on my whiskey, smoke on my cigar, and then I'm going to get up, I'm going to unzip, and I'm going to piss on the ashes. Loki is what happens when you can tell that a company is creatively depleted. Loki is what happens when you take what few contracts remain from the original MCU cast and you try to milk them for everything that they're worth. This show sucks. It is the worst show of 2021, and that's hard to say. I've watched some absolute trash this year. I sat through WandaVision. I watched The Handmaid's Tale Season 4. I am not a stranger to bad TV, but Loki tops them all. God of Mischief, more like God of unwatchable TV. All right, now I don't actually fault the cast. I fault the writers. I fault Disney. I fault whoever greenlit this show. Loki is best viewed as a comedic and, scheming villain in the background, a B-plus player. That's why he was perfect for the Avengers, the first Avengers as the primary villain, because he set up Thanos. He was the villain of the movie, but he wasn't the overall threat. Loki was never going to do anything, and that's why he continues to pop up throughout the Avengers, throughout Thor movies, whatnot. He's always getting into things. He's always stirring stuff up. But the moron does not need his own show. Furthermore, we did not need a scene shoehorned into Endgame, giving him an out so that people would be compelled to go pay for Disney's shoddy-ass subscription service. Disney Plus isn't worth your money, but it really isn't worth your money when you're considering watching Loki. I highly advocate you stay as far away from this show as possible because the writing is so atrocious. They basically make Loki the biggest one-note joke. Remember how I said he was constantly scheming and there was a balance between his comedic elements and this darker side where he taps into the true nature of his being? Well, they completely abandon that. He is a straight-up comic relief character that this show is focused on, and the jokes don't even land. There are shows that know how to juggle humor and action and thrills and serious plot points, and Loki is not one of them. And we've seen Disney struggle with this before. A lot of the more serious MCU moments are completely overthrown by scenes interjecting comedy, whether it's just not needed. Loki is like that taken to the 10th degree. Loki entertains a one-note joke of a character over a course of multiple episodes that he does not need to be focused on, all right? It would be fine if Loki wanted to pop up in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It would be fine if Loki wanted to pop up in WandaVision, as like a one-off episode. Oh, here is Loki doing his thing, stirring up his mischief. No, he doesn't need his own show. He cannot carry his own show. And I'm not talking about the actor's ability. I'm talking about the strength of the character. They were faced with a very difficult decision. Do they completely alter Loki's personality? Or do they stay true to who he was, knowing the show would fail? They chose just to embrace the comedic elements of it, and the show fails. It fails so hard. It falls flat on its face, and the audience is going to know. Nobody is going to watch Loki and take it seriously. They're going to turn it off after the first episode. The husband and wife are going to look at each other like, what the hell did we just watch? Disney seriously has the audacity to spit in our face like that? What an absolute joke. I mean, only idiots, only simpletons with the lowest IQs are going to laugh at these jokes. We're talking stuff a fourth grader wouldn't find funny, all right? Toilet humor meant to appeal to the most knuckle-dragging apes. Seriously, I'm talking dumb as absolute rocks people are going to find Loki funny. And then there's going to be a group of people, because they love sucking off the MCU, there's going to be a group of people on YouTube praising it for its bold new direction and its insanely risk-taking characterization of Loki. It's not risk-taking. It's not insanely new characterization. It's leaning into a bad joke, and Loki has plenty of them. Both the show and the character. The jokes aren't funny. The timing's off. The humor is again injected where it's not needed. Loki himself needs a character to play off of. He cannot carry a show alone. Yet Disney, I have another video coming out on Black Widow where I say the same thing. Disney continues to do these stupid spin-offs thinking that people want more of Wanda and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki. No. Every single one of these characters never got their own movies for a reason. WandaVision devolved into a generic bad guy versus good guy story. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was so forgettable, I've forgotten half the plot points. And Loki is an absolute spit in the face by taking a character who needs another character to play off of to reach his ability as a character and focusing on him. This is like Jekyll and Hyde without Jekyll. This is like Cheech and Chong without Chong. This is like Silent Bob without Jay. It does not work, all right? And the people who are going to suck this off and tell everybody how great it is, how great that we get to see Loki free of his shackles, and how great it is that his death in Infinity War is completely meaningless and now the actor has something to do because he's getting a fat paycheck from Disney, are completely missing the point. This show should not exist. This show is, now believe me, I am not one of those people that says movies should not exist or TV shows should not exist, because if you get down to it, if you get down to the absolute truth of it, movies and TV shows shouldn't exist. They're entertainment. So arguing whether one is relevant or not, or should exist in a given universe or not, is the dumbest stuff ever. But Loki should not exist because he cannot carry a show, and the writers did not do his character justice. All right? All Disney is known for at this point with the MCU is retconning things from earlier movies and milking their fan base dry. I mean, what is it? What's $7 here to watch Loki and WandaVision? I'll tell you what it is. It's money lining Disney's pockets so they can continue to pump out trash like this. And if you support that, if you think this is good television, if you think Loki's the next big thing and you just love the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and you thought WandaVision was so unique in its storytelling, well, I've got news for you. You're just a complete idiot. This show, along with all the other Disney shows, are made to cater to a simple-minded fan base who cannot recognize or entertain good entertainment. That's all it is. Lowest common denominator. That's all it is. That's all it is. Disney has it figured out. I mean, if I could pump out content and get paid for it doing the same old shtick over and over again, I'd do it too. But I'm above that. I have to bring my audience the truth. I have to show you, I have to pull back the veil on Disney's practices and reveal their absolute hypocrisy and this scam they're running over there at Disney Plus. And I guarantee you it's gonna continue. Every single B and C note character from the MCU is going to have their own spin-off show because people keep signing up for Disney Plus to watch this trash. Loki is complete. First off, he's in a different timeline. Whatever happens is completely irrelevant to the rest of the MCU. That's why I say this show should not exist. This is like taking a movie and saying, oh, well, there's a different timeline. This actually happened, and making a sequel or a spinoff or a parallel movie. It's like, what is this trash? We don't need this. If it's one thing if a show or a movie gets a bad season or a bad sequel, all right, like Star Wars. You can argue whether the movies are bad or not, but they exist and they're in the same timeline. Ooh, hashtag not my Star Wars. Yeah, shut up, man. It's part of the Star Wars canon, all right? But you take something like Loki, where he is legitimately in a completely different timeline than the rest of the cast, and the Eternals, and Captain Marvel, and the Hulk, and everybody else who made it, everybody else who's alive. You have a show set up for failure from the beginning, focusing on a character that they shouldn't be focusing on because he's best served as a scheming comic relief. He's clown shoes. He should be used sparingly, and we're putting all the focus on him in a timeline that does not matter. My God, I need to be working at Disney so I can slap some sense into these would-be creative artists trying to bring their vision to life, no pun intended, showing them that this garbage fails as soon as you put it under scrutiny. The show itself is redundant, and if you like this trash, I've only got one thing to say to you. I'm sorry. I don't know if your parents dropped you on your head when you were a kid or if you've just come to accept stupidity as your way of life, but this trash is not doing anything for society.